You're
There we go. Is that better? All right, we are live.
can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can't hear. Good
Is your
morning.
phone- is your sound? Is it your sound? Let's see.
My audio's good.
Okay. Let's see. You can't hear me. Ha ha.
Let's try this. Can you hear me now?
Audio's good.
My audio is good as well.
I think I can hear.
Can you hear me?
You did. I can't hear you. Good morning.
Good. Can you hear me now?
But I can't hear.
Okay.
We might have to go out and come in again. Let's see here. Say share screen.
I'm not muted. Can you hear me?
Okay, 1 second. Let's try this again. Leave meeting.
Well, good morning. Good morning. I don't know if you all can hear me, but we are live right now. I am trying to get my wonderful colleague, Mel, on the line. We had some few issues with Facebook this morning, so we are trying to work it out. But good morning, parents. Thank you for joining us this morning. We're coming in a little on our tardy side, but we're going to get Mel on soon here so that we can have her share our beautiful plans of what we have for you today. It's just a lovely day here coming to you from the great state of Tennessee. So we are delighted to have you join us today. Again, if you are with us for the first time, this is Math Chats for Parents with Dr. MIchaele and Mrs. Mel, who we're trying to get on the line. So hopefully we're going to do that here shortly. We might have to go off for a moment and then come back on, but however, I think I went off. Maybe I'm not off. We're having a few technical difficulties right now, so we're going to get that worked out, and then we're going to hopefully start all over again this morning. So just hang with us if you will. If this is live, we're going to start it over. And maybe we're starting over now. You're still coming in mute here. Let's see.
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
And I can't hear you. Not sure what's going on here. Did you take back over?
You have it. You have it.
Maybe that was it.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
I can now.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That was, I know. Can you say technical difficulties?
Yeah. Oh my gracious. Okay. Well, okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
We're coming to you a little after 9, a little after our time, but we had a few little issues with Facebook this morning, and but we're glad you joined us. You know how this technology is. It's great when it works, right, Miss Mel?
That's exactly right. When we can get to do what it's supposed to do.
That's right. When it does what it's supposed to do, it is wonderful. But when it doesn't, it's like, ugh, so, but anyway, we're thankful for it. And we are inviting you to our episode 4 of Math Chats for Parents. And we are delighted to be coming to you again from the great volunteer state of Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yes, Tennessee. And we're just so glad that you've joined us this morning. Now, some of you may decide to watch this in the evenings or at night or in the afternoons, but whatever time of day it is for you, we hope you're having a great day. And we are delighted to be coming to you this morning to share some other wonderful tips about helping your children through their mathematics journey this summer. And I know, Mel, it's summer, people want to be out and about, and man, we've got July 4th coming up, right?
I mean, I thought that first part of the year, the first part of when we shut down was slow. Now it's like we have next Saturday, next week, we're at 4th of July. So
4th of July, middle of the year, next Saturday. Now, speaking of next Saturday, parents, we will not be joining you next Saturday. We're going to give you a break, and we're going to take our break for the 4th of July. And so happy 4th to you. But we know as you're grilling those hot dogs and flipping those burgers and baking those beans, whatever you choose to do on that holiday weekend. We hope it's a safe one for you, but we will be back in 2 weeks. But we are going to give you an assignment to be with your children and with your families over the next few couple of weeks. But we're here to help you help your children. We still don't know quite what the fall is looking like, right?
Yeah, not yet. There's a lot of different ideas, a lot of different solutions, ifs and thens and A, B, and C situations, but nothing has been solidified as far as I know with our surrounding counties. I do know it is a great push to be back in the classroom, whether that is virtual classroom or hybrid, or we all go back in about a month. Here in Tennessee and in our county, we start back actually August 8th. So it's very, very close. We're close to getting there, but we're not sure.
Right. And so regardless of what that looks like, one of the things that we really want you as parents to think about is that you still have to support your kids at home, particularly in their math learning. It may be some form of homeschooling and some form of virtual schooling, like Ms. Mel said, some form of being in school. But either way, teachers are going to want to start at grade level. And you want your children to start at grade level, regardless if they're in high school, middle school, elementary school. You really want them to be ready to start at grade level. So they've got to be doing some critical thinking, some problem solving reasoning, computational reasoning. We've shared a lot of ideas with you. We've got some things on the website now that you can go and download if you haven't had a chance to look at all of those. And just have fun, just make it fun. Last week we talked about recreational mathematics, and you were like, what? That's just such a contradiction. But no, it's not. You can have fun learning math, and we're going to share some more things with you today. So Mel, what's up? What's our first little task?
Let me pull it up. Hopefully, okay. Dean, let's see if I can get the
PowerPoint.
I'm gonna need to be the host again. So let's
absolutely. So do I need to do anything to let you be host?
I think so. Let me see.
Good.
I'm gonna minimize this a little.
Okay, cool.
And then
we actually left you while you're doing that. We left parents, I believe, with the 24 problem.
Yes, we did.
And we wanted you all to work with the game of 24. And there are a lot of 24 exercises still on our website. You can download several of those for your families to work.
That's right.
We had some single daughters. We had some double daughters, and we have some 3 daughters. And the whole notion behind those is that, hey, they increase in difficulty. So if you're wanting to have fun with your family, you might want to start with the single daughter give yourself a little bit of confidence, and then you can go and advance to the two daughters. But they are very intriguing, these number cards. The 24 game, it's called a game, and it's been around for quite some while, but it's just a wonderful tool, math tool for enhancing students' computational reasoning. They're being flexible with their thinking about their math operations, their multiplication tables, their division facts, their multiplication facts, and even their addition facts. So
Yeah. Well, I'm
so
really over here trying to figure out. You're the host.
well, if I need to give that back
Yeah.
to you,
Yeah, could you give it back to me?
where would I find it in more?
It's probably if you click your name. I think if you click your name, you should be a or more. Do you see it where it says
My name?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, you may have to go to a different screen.
Okay.
Working it out today, I tell you.
We're working it out today, but that's problem solving, isn't it? Yeah.
You're exactly right.
I have
If
seen.
you hit participants.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, that's probably what I need. And host. And so I am host, but I'm going to actually I think I can make you host. Maybe
Yeah, can you make me host?
Yes, I can make you host. Change host, yes.
Yeah, there it is. Okay. Let me pull it up. All righty.
We know how to do this technology.
I know, right? I'm like,
because we know how to do problem solving. that handy tool behind problem solving. Oh my goodness.
I know, right? I'm like, wow.
Right. It is so
It has
funny.
definitely been one of those those mornings.
Yeah, we started about 3 minutes till trying to, come on and get on and make sure we're getting ready to get live. And so this morning we just had a little bit of delay with that. And there it is.
There it is.
Yay.
Yay. Let's see if I can get it full screen for us.
Okay, cool beans.
Let's see, move this over down here. And there we are. Yay.
Yay. Okay. So we left you all with some 24 exercises, parents. And we were talking about this last week and said, hey, try and solve. I think we solved one or two of these.
Yeah, we did.
Right now.
That's right.
But I think I got another one that was on one of the cards from last week. I don't know if I did this one or not, but this one is one that had 1, 1, 4, and 8 male. Right?
Okay.
You see that?
I see it.
I think parents, you can see that one pretty good. So in other words, it's a card with these 4 numbers on it. And these just happen to have numbers that are the same, but sometimes the numbers are all different. And we were talking about, how you can get your child to, think about solutions and coming up with those situations. But one of the things I wrote it on my little whiteboard. A teacher, we always have to have our little whiteboards to write on. But notice that solution, Mel. You see it?
Yeah. Can you raise it up just a little bit?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I see it.
So what do we have? We have
so 8 plus 4 times 1 plus 1.
Yes. So we've got 12 times 2 to give us 24.
Oh, I love that. 24.
Yes. And I like being able to write it this way, Mel, because when you have children, right, especially as they get in middle school, now they may say it. For elementary kids, they may just sort of talk it out, and that's good. It's one of those number talks, how you all say it, Mel?
Yeah, number talk.
So elementary kids, may just say, well, okay, 8 plus 4 is 12, and then 12 times that 2, 1 plus 1 gives us 2, then you get your 24. But as your kids get older, parents, you should require them to write these things out so that they can see their order of operations, because if we didn't have the parentheses, Mel, our order of operations would change, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. That's right. Something else I would like to say is as the kids are progressing through grade levels, now they want them to put them in those vertical and those horizontal equations so that they can prepare them for algebra in a couple of years. So now as they write the problems out in the classroom, they a lot of times you'll see that the kids are writing them out horizontally. And even with their number talks that they do in school and the number talks, teachers are writing them out so that they can get used to as early as kindergarten, so they can get used to that when they start hitting those algebra problems.
Right. Yeah, writing out those expressions is just really, really valuable because, you know, when you get to algebra, you're writing out a lot of expressions, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You're writing, and then if you say it equals 24, then you turn it into an equation, you know, so you have the expression and then you're turning it into the equation. But kids are getting good practice at thinking about that and writing it out with the grouping symbols, as we like to say, so that they are really indeed paying attention to that order of operations. So that was our 24. Again, we've got several exercises on the website, right?
That's right. Let me throw in a real quick game if you have a deck of cards. I don't have my cards with me, but really cool game. You can play. It's 24. So what happens is everyone, you put out 4 different cards, and it could be the same way, 6, 6, 2, and 1, or whatever the first 4 cards are. A lot of times we take out the face cards so that you don't know. So take those out and you have use your aces as ones. And you do the same thing. So you put out 4 cards. The first person that gets to 24 or close to 24 without getting over, you get that full set of cards. And whoever gets the most cards wins the game. So that's one really cool way to play 24. I just thought about that as we were talking about it, but that's a really cool way to play the game. And you can subtract, you can do all the operations. Yeah, that's really cool.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I think card games are fabulous ways for families just to sit down and have fun together, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And in this case, they can be doing some math and having fun. Remember, it's that recreational math.
Recreational math. And you can also do that if you have I don't know if they even do, people still play Yahtzee. Remember Yahtzee that have the dice?
Yes, I've seen that game.
Yeah, if you have any kind of games that have dice in them, or you can go get a thing of dice for what, $1 or $2 at like the Dollar Tree. Go to Dollar Tree.
Right.
And play the same thing. If you throw the dice 4, whoever gets them first, you get a point. So there's so many different ways you can play 24. So cool.
And they're games and they're fun, but lots of times, Mel, the beauty of this is that people don't think about that you can really be enhancing mathematic skills while you're playing the game and having fun.
That's exactly right. Even Uno, if you play Uno by the rules, and you can only what is it? You have to try to get 1, right? You have to be as close to 1 as possible. I think that's how the rules work. That's such a good way to teach your kids. We're going back to that recreational math, you know, adding, subtracting, multiplying, or I think you have to add and subtract on that game, but really cool ways to play games.
Well, and the beauty of it is, and I keep using that word, you know, it's all beautiful to us because we love the mathematics.
Numbers.
But the beauty of it is that kids learn that even if they know their facts, you know, even high school kids need to learn their facts all over again sometimes, because we've relied on the calculator so much that they don't know. I mean, I've had college students who just don't know their basic multiplication facts. And it's like, well, wait a minute, what's going on? They say, well, and they'll tell you, they've told me, well, we were able to use the calculator and so we didn't bother to learn it. I'm like, no. You're in college now. You've got to learn, you got to know your facts. Okay. That's just basic. You got to know your facts. And so just that fluent, what's that word you all call it? Flexible or fluent?
Or flexible thinking or fluency.
Right. The fluency and the repeated reasoning, that's just something they need to know, just basic. So they're practicing too. You can get everybody involved in this to learn this game 24 and the other card games and the fun games that involve numbers and numerical reasoning and number sense. It really, really builds that. That's a beauty of it. Okay, Mel, what else we got going on?
All right, let's see. Next. Steam, STEM, and STREAM. Yes. What is the difference?
Yeah, we wanted to really quickly just bring this to you. I think we had mentioned this in some earlier episodes,
Yeah.
parents, but
Mhm.
and many parents, likely Mel, have heard of STEM,
Yes,
correct? You think?
that's right. Most of them, yes.
Yeah, because
There's
that
so many camps and virtual camps out there right now. At least they have heard of, most of them have heard of it.
right, right. And so that acronym has been around. It's one for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And we say math for short, of course. But the one thing I will say about this is that we have, just given what we've gone through and are still somewhat going through with the whole pandemic and the COVID situation, we've seen a lot of evidence of STEM
Yes, we
in
have.
our society, because some parents, we don't want you to say, oh, well, that's for the schools and that's for the this and that's for the neighbor down the street. You're living in STEM right now. You're living through it. The science that we've seen, the lab workers who are working so diligently on a vaccine for the coronavirus. We've seen them at work in their labs. And then we don't know all the details of what they're doing, but we know it's science.
Yeah.
We know it's science. We've seen the technology. I mean, hey, we were starting out today talking about the technology, and we love the Zoom and the Facebook and all of these tools that allow us to come and share, with the world, so to speak.
Yeah.
So we've seen the tech, even our phone technology and the things that
Oh,
it's been able to do. We've seen, Mel, even the engineering in
yeah.
some instances.
I was
Yeah.
even thinking about, I know that there's been a lot of COVID relief for major corporations and, small based businesses. I'm just thinking about that. And a lot of times the reason that they're offering all these for, families is because it's STEM. It's increasing numbers and engineering numbers so
Yeah.
that they can get a certain, so it's all science based. Even filling out your census, I was recently talking to you about filling out your census is a part of STEM. Engineering, how many people do we need to make sure that these type of technologies are put into neighborhoods? That's a part of STEM.
Right. And counting, that counting your population and knowing how, of course, that sometimes it's economic based because you want to know how many tax dollars and things that are related to it that way. But it's very, very important to get that census count, to know how many you have in a particular region, cities and states, because of course dollars are tied to that. But even with the engineering as well, we've seen, and speaking of census, though, I will say that's even gotten more technology based, right?
Yeah, it has. I mean,
I
it's
remember the days when we had to fill out the paperwork on the census, and now all you do is just go online and click, 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 and bam, you've done your census. So
that's right.
that's the beauty of it. But we saw a lot of creative engineering, really, with even the face mask and people building the shields for the doctors and the medical staff. Just so much we saw, and we even saw some mathematics.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of data-driven mathematics in terms of keeping up with the flattening the curve and keeping up with the numbers. I mean, I think the world, or I understand someone shared with me the other day that the World Health Organization, I mean, they sort of like keep up with this data almost like real time, almost. I mean, but they're keeping up with that like hour by hour in terms of how the numbers sort of flow out. But and sometimes it's a little hard to see the mathematics, but in this instance, what we've come through as a society over the past, or what we're coming through, hopefully, over the past few months, we've seen some evidence of these things, of mathematics. And but now, Mel, I see that in STEAM, we like to think about STEAM, we've dropped a little A in there. What is that A
Yeah,
for?
it's for art. It's so you still have the same thing: science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. And a lot of times you see those, even the mask, even though it's engineering, it's a part of art. The way they created it, all of them aren't the same. Another thing you can do is, making bracelets and counting the amount of pieces that your kids are putting on your bracelets, or doing sidewalk chalk, or we'll see a little bit more of that with another topic, but you're adding in art to your STEM processes.
Right.
So Mikey, several years ago, he had a great, I loved his, her name was Miss Thompson, art teacher. And every year they gave them like a piece of paper, and they were required to follow so many steps that were STEM based to come up with a particular project. So that's where a lot of times you integrate those special area and those rotation, we call them rotations in schools, or those specialty areas into the classroom, because they still follow the standards that the states have required, so art is where, especially for kids who are, Milan, she's more of a art type of girl. We can see that already, but we're gonna have to push her towards, okay, honey, that's when we're playing the little xylophone. Let's do it with the music, because
right. And speaking of music, that's a part of it, because really it's a lot of arts that are involved. You can have visual arts, you can have music. And I love how that video where she's playing the 1, 2, 3. I think that's so cute. The music, you can, and then there's a lot of rap songs. I know for a while in mathematics, we had a lot of rap songs to help kids remember certain processes and procedures and things like that. And then there's the dance. Yes, there's the dance. I love when the Olympics comes around.
My favorite.
See the figure skating and all of that is just so beautiful to watch, because there's a lot of math built into that, in terms of timing and in terms of choreography and so forth and so on. And then I'm leaving out one. The theater. So you have the theater. So all of the arts really are captivated in that so to speak. You got your visual, your music, your dance, your theatrical arts, all of it is captivated. And it's a beautiful thing, and so now here recently, we've even transferred to dropping an R in that thing. And looking at reading, right?
Reading, incorporating that reading into whatever sciences or whatever arts or whatever mathematics you're doing. Quickly, I'll show you a couple books that I pulled. For example, here's one called The Grapes of Math by Greg Tang. It's a math book, but it's reading. So that's a good one. I also picked one that's for a little older. Here's one from Milan. It's called 1, 2, 1 leaf, 2 leaves. And it's just counting numbers. And so they've incorporated numbers into their reading, and we've seen them before. We just didn't add them to a category, so to speak. And the last one here's a science book. It's on bugs. And so the bugs is the science, but the reading, and this is more of a nonfiction book. They actually have the pictures in there. So that's where you get that stream. You add in that reading into the subject matters.
Yes, because reading is very important for problem solving. Right? I mean, it's all about problem solving. And students have to be able to read. They have to be able to transfer problems into mathematical expressions. And reading is very critical. So several years ago, we started with STEM, and then the arts got involved, and we said, oh no, we got to put some steam behind this thing, right, Mel? and then now we've got a full flowing stream of a curriculum, and we love it because it makes the curriculum more whole base. More whole child based, because you're going to have students who are really, really good at the arts, but think that they're not good at mathematics. But no, there's some ways that they can bring out that mathematical genius in them. Exactly. And then they can bring out that reading genius. We all want to be able to read. We all want our children to be able to read and read well. And so, but they can be reading some books. We had another one, but we're going to go to the next thing. I know we're sort of going over, trying to get to our time. What's our next little task up? I think we were going to talk about a game of tangos. This is going to be the sort of arts, right?
Yeah.
Maybe? Yeah. And So this is a beautiful game, parents. And Mel, you can say a little bit about this too, but I was introduced to this game through one of my colleagues who was a communications major. She was a doctoral student when we were there at Florida State. And she said, "Oh, that game sounds like I was sharing her with the tangrams, Mel. And she said, "We use this to play tangos." And I thought, "What's tangos?" And she said, "It's this great card game that you do trying to fix the little shape real quick." And I think it's like who gets to that shape the first or something like that. That
Okay.
sounds right. Yeah. So Tangos is a wonderful game. Again, it's recreational mathematics, but I like it, Mel, because it helps with spatial learning.
Oh, yes. I'm not really good at that. I need these activities. What's up here and figuring it out.
Right,
Yeah.
figuring it out. But it really, really for girls, you really want to have these type games involved so that they can sort of distinguish, the different shapes, the spatial learning, and all of that good stuff. But yeah, that visual learning and spatial learning, spatial visualization, I should say, is really, really helpful too for this tangos game.
Yeah.
Um,
So what you're gonna do, so the tangos has a card and then you have these little pieces of geometrical shapes.
mhm.
And the goal is to move the shapes around so you create figures that's on the card. It
Right.
looks really easy. I mean, it's level 2. It looks really easy, but it takes a lot of it's kind of like, I can't remember what that game was years ago that they played and the shapes move. And you had to put them in I can't remember what it was, like on a maze, but it's very similar. You have to kind of move them so that it makes these animals. And I will go to the next one. Oh, so I'll go back. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's
Oh, but
good.
okay.
That's really good. And I like what you even have in this next one. And you were talking about those pieces. Those pieces are our tangram pieces. And parents, these pieces have been around. You could probably download them and
Yeah. If
Uh,
I can find one, I'll add one to our downloadables.
right.
Pretty
Download,
popular.
right. That's true. You can cut them out. Yeah, it's helpful rather to cut them out of some sturdy paper. But at the same time, you can go to a teacher store and just buy one for like $2 or
Yeah,
something.
and you get a big tub for or a
Oh,
little bitty pack, and you have
yeah.
parallelism.
And we see that these kids have used some visual arts on the sidewalks. Kids were doing that quite a bit when they had to get out of school back in the spring. And they've got some of the shapes involved there, some of the same shapes that are involved in the tangrams. But the tangrams particularly come in just triangles, a square, and a parallelogram, as we like to call it. But so they have some more shapes involved, but they're pretty proud of they're taking the picture with their feet. So it seems like they're pretty proud of their sidewalk chalk art. The grandfather Tang story, I see you have that up there, Mel. That's a beautiful story going back to the stream idea and the STEAM idea. And I have that book here. But inside, it's a beautiful story that the grandfather is sharing with his granddaughter about these two fox that turn into all kinds of different animals because they're trying to race against each other. And so, like, here's a little squirrel. I don't know if you could see that, Mel,
You
but you
can
see
see
that
it.
little squirrel? Yeah. So you can make lots of different animals. It's a beautiful story. You can probably get it out of a library if they're. I'm hoping that libraries or maybe allowing for online checkouts or something like that. But it's a beautiful story, just in terms of multi-generational story, but also in terms of stream. So that's why we have it there. What do we have here, Mel? Making shapes with the tangrams. I love this.
Yes,
Oh,
and what you're going
wow.
to do is, it says, if possible, make each shape using the given number of tangram pieces. Mark Y or N and sketch your solution. So
Yeah.
what you have to do, you have to use one of each one of those shapes to create,
Mhm.
make a shape out of. And you can
Right. Right. You can use one piece or two pieces. I was hoping we could put an example in one, but nevertheless, we'll share it with you. This page is on our website, I believe, right? And so you can download it if you have the shapes. you're making one piece. There are a lot of one piece possibilities, a lot of two piece possibilities, a lot of three piece. Any of the three pieces of the seven, they come in 7 pieces, I believe.
Yeah, I think
So
that's right.
any of the three pieces, you can make another triangle, you can make a square. I don't know about the oblong rectangle, right? We'll see about that. We got a little hint at the bottom. Don't forget to see the hint. There are 6 non-possibilities. So out of all this grid, Mel, there are going to be 6 sales that will not be possible to make.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm reading that wrong. 5 non-possibilities, 5 sales that will not be possible to make, but all the others you can make. So you should challenge yourself over the next 2 weeks. Challenge your family members, challenge your kids. Hey, make a shape with 4 pieces. Make a square with any of 4 of the pieces. Make a parallelogram with any 4 of the pieces. Make a trapezoid. Now, if you don't remember what a trapezoid is, we try to put some examples there. It doesn't have to look exactly like that, but it's a 4-sided shape where the 2 opposite sides are parallel. So, and you can look that up. You can ask Mr. Google, right? Anything else you want to say about this one, Mel?
No, it's just a lot of fun. It's challenging, but it's a lot of fun. And I just want to reiterate, parents, that the goal behind math chats is to give you an opportunity to have conversations about math in your family. So I know, so it's so funny. So I talked to one of my friends that I work with, her son, and she said, girl, I can't even work those problems. How do you get them right? And I told her, it's just about having fun. And she said she's been having fun with the activities.
Oh, good.
Good. Tamari, I love you. Thank you so much. But just go ahead and try these activities with your kids and your family.
Right. And if you're just really wanting the answers, we'll put the answers up too. We've solved some of them, I know, live, but we will put up an answer sheet, if you will, if you just want to know, did I get it right? Because a lot of times, people want to know, well, did I get it right? But the beauty of this particular task that we're looking at even now is that there's so many possible solutions. Mm-hmm. So it's not about just getting that one right solution or 2 right solutions. There are just a lot of possible solutions that are possible. And as Mel said, it gets a little bit more challenging as you get more and more pieces, but that's the fun part of it. That's when it gets really engaging.
And it goes back to that productive struggle we talked about in a couple episodes before. Like, it's not easy, but man, just how much your mind will grow, because you'll do it one time and then you'll try it again and you'll be like, oh, okay, I know exactly what to do. And you use some of the things you use from the first one to figure out some of the second one. And that's in all the tasks that we've offered. So just have a lot of fun with it. And just have fun.
Yeah. And we'll share when we come back in 2 weeks, when we come back on the 11th, we'll share some of these responses with you, but in the meantime, we want you to try them first before you get the full answers, because you're going to feel so good when you're like, I got it. Yay. Okay. One last thing, Mel,
One last thing. Yeah.
Oh, the number puzzle. And this is also a form of reading, right, Mel?
It is. Yeah.
I like this number puzzle.
It goes back. Can I piggyback real quick? So I was going to say this on the couple slides before, but what is the one thing when you're doing math that kids say, I can do the problem, but I can't work the word problem, right? We called them word problems back in the day. So it's and a lot of times it's not that they can't solve it. They just don't know what the problem is asking them. So the more they're reading these stream type of activities, it helps them learn how to it helps them with the vocabulary to help them know how to solve.
That's right. That's a really good point. I like that you said the vocabulary, because especially in this particular number puzzle, we have some terms that, based on where kids are, they may not be as familiar with, like consecutive numbers. They think consecutive numbers, what does that mean? And so parents, you can help your children sort of think about, well, that comes one right after the other in terms of whole numbers we're talking about. So they can think about, what's the sum? What is it? Those kinds of things. Now they should be familiar with sum for the most part because that's an early term that's used in schools. But this number puzzle is so much fun because it allows, you can start with all different numbers. You can pick your favorite number, Mel. What's your favorite number of all your numbers?
I'm going to say 13. That's my
Oh,
favorite.
okay. Ooh, I like it. The baker's dozen, right? So you can pick 13. I like 18.
Okay.
Or 7. You know, I like those numbers. But whatever your number is, you're going to read this problem and you're going to do it according, you're going to do whatever it says using your number. And I would challenge everybody in the house to do it. Everybody in the house, but everybody in the house should choose a different number. They just pick a favorite number, whatever. Everybody picks a favorite number and they do this number puzzle challenge and see what they get. And then do it with several other numbers, right? And then notice, and then get to the point of why you're getting your result. Why you're getting your result.
I'm going to challenge them with this. Instead of them, this is just another powerful thing you can do with your kids. Instead of talking about it, write it down. So once you get your solution, have each family member write your problem down, write your solution down, and then read it to them, and then see if you can figure out what they're saying. Like, just, it's something about writing, using this and then writing it down, putting it on paper sometimes can become challenging, even for adults or high school students or even college students. But that's just a really good way of doing this number puzzle. Have them write it down, repeat it several times, and then you guys come together and discuss it at the end.
Yeah, well, it goes back to what you said earlier too, in terms of what they're requiring in schools now, is that we're writing these problems all horizontally. Yeah. So we're writing these actions and coming up with the grouping symbols, using the grouping symbols so that you can sort of keep your order of operations appropriate for that. So it definitely does. So yeah, so next time, parents, we're going to join you in 2 weeks. On the 11th, we are going to give you the 4th off. We're going to take off and be doing some math in between, right, Mel?
That's right.
We promise you, we will be doing some math for sure. But yeah, so we've given you you've got several different things, the number puzzle you're going to work on, the tangrams visual art you're going to work on. You've got several things that you can download and work with your children to have them be thinking about spatial visualization learning, computational reasoning, problem solving. All of these major constructs are huge in mathematics, and they go throughout K-16. It doesn't stop once they leave high school. In fact, it probably becomes more important, but we really just have this heart for making sure that you can help your kids think through this process and empowering you to empower them to think about mathematical reasoning, computational reasoning, problem solving, critical thinking. It's so important in all of disciplines, really. But we really can focus on it a lot in mathematics. So Mel, what else we got? I think we just sort of maybe got to tie it up here. We're going a little longer because we had some technical difficulties.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Right. Yeah, just a little bit.
So join us back here in 2 weeks, as Michaele said. Also, we've got our YouTube channel up. So please go and find Math Chats for Parents and go subscribe to our channel. Also come back and to our Facebook page. Also, there are all the activities we've worked on, www.mathchatsforparents.com. And you're going to find the resource and the task tabs. Hit them, and they're all downloadable resources for you to use with your family. So,
yes, absolutely.
Else, Michaele?
I think that's it. Have a great 4th, parents, and work some math. Woo-hoo. Yes, and join us in 2 weeks for Math Chats for Parents. Yes, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.